Hi guys. So I'm trying something different today. I'm cooking. That's not really the different part, but I'm going to try vlogging cuz I tried blogging a while ago and it was fun. It just took a lot of time. So I'm going to try vlogging using Snapchat and seeing how that works. Cuz I'm always on my phone anyway, might as well get some use out of it, right? So, I'm going to be making 3 dishes tonight. I'm going to be making chicken curry, broccoli stir fry, and broccoli rabe, which are different. I'll show you guys in a little bit. And I'm going to be making rice with that. So, let's get started. The first thing you'll need to do is get a pan and turn the flame on. I have it on medium. And after that, you'll need to put oil into the pan. That's the first thing. Let the pan warm up a bit. So I'm going to put some oil in. I'm using olive oil. Now, normally I'd use a measuring spoon, but I'm trying to do this the way like my grandmother would do it, and she never really measures. She just does what she feels right. So I say this is about somewhere between 2 and 3 tablespoons of oil max. And I'm going to let that heat up, and then once it heats up, we'll continue. So the oil's looking like it's ready. There's little itty bitty bubbles you can see forming around there. So I've got here 1 large and 1 small onion, and I'm just going to add these in right now. So as you can see, the onions have gotten a little lightly pink. I forgot to mention, to help speed in the browning, you should add some salt. And that releases the moisture in the onions, which helps them brown. Or helps them soften, rather, than brown. So just leave this. We're going to leave this for a minute. And then once they get a little brown, we'll continue the recipe. So I have added roughly 2 tablespoons of tomato puree to the onions. And they've got a really nice, like, orangey color. Like the oil's getting kind of yellowy. It's a really pretty color and it smells really good right now. It kind of smells like, what do you call it? Marinara sauce. It's really good. Alright, soon we're going to add the spices and then we'll add the chicken. So our tomatoes and onions have roasted very nicely. I've turned the heat down because this is very crucial for Indian cooking. Before you add the spices, turn the heat down to the lowest possible setting. And so I have some chicken curry masala, and there's a lot of Indian families have their home version. This is ours, but you can always just get curry powder from the store if you don't have like a family recipe, and it'll work just as fine. Can also show later some kind of options for people who don't want to use just a straight up curry powder. Alright, so we're going to let this roast a little lightly, and then I'm going to add some other spices in a second. So in here I have a little bit of turmeric, or haldi in Hindi, some garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and paprika. And this is just going to enhance some of the main flavors of your basic chicken curry. Or at least this is how I do it. And now we're going to let this roast a little more. We got a nice red color. Extra red because of the paprika. I like a very red chicken curry. And now, this is taking forever. I've got here, I want to say 2 pounds or so of bone-in chicken breast. Now, I prefer boneless, but this is what we had at the house, so I'm just going to add this in. So it's been a couple of minutes and I've been stirring this around and letting it get some nice color. You don't need to cook the chicken all the way through at this stage, but it is a good idea, and you want to be careful not to burn the spices still, so keep it on medium. Don't go any higher than that. In one of these little man-made tea kettle, not man-made, what is the tea kettles that you plug in, I've got a little bit of chicken stock and water, about a cup each, and I'm just going to add that to here. And yeah, that should be good. See, it's got this really nice rich color. I'm gonna actually add a little more chicken stock and water to this because you want to cover the chicken. So this is close to covered, but not entirely. So I'm gonna be right back. So here I've got another cup of chicken stock, and I'm just gonna pour this on here as well. You can also use water if you want, but chicken stock adds a really nice, meaty, pun not intended, meaty flavor to the chicken curry. And this is basically covered. If you want more of I like very watery gravies. That's just my opinion. So this is kind of perfect for my consistency, what I prefer. But if you want it more thicker, you could have left it at just the 1 cup of mixture. Or you can just add more or less depending on what you want. So this is basically done. I'm going to move this on the back burner right here. And we'll get on to the next step in our meal. So take a big wok. And you will need, the first thing you'll need to do is add some kind of flavoring agent to the oil. So something like cumin seeds, mustard seeds, red chili pepper flakes, something to flavor the oil. So I'm adding some black mustard seed, and once these start to spatter a little bit, I'm going to add some red pepper flakes. So now that everything's, well, I had the heat on higher a little bit, the flame higher a little bit, but you can, eventually you'll hear there'll be little sputtering of the mustard seed. You can kind of see it right here and here. I'm going to add these slivered potatoes. Now they're wet, so there's going to be a lot of, oh, this is a lot more anticlimactic than I thought it would be. There we go. Be careful of the oil, because if you're stupid like me, you could get oil all over your feet, because you want to be artsy. Oh, by the way, I'm making broccoli rabe. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the potatoes part, and I am going to stir this, get those nice flavors going, get some color on the potatoes. So, as you can see, some of the potatoes are starting to cook a little bit. These are going to take a little while to cook, even though I cut them as thin as I could. Well, for aesthetic purposes, I cut them as thin as I could. So, we're going to check on the chicken curry while we wait. It's coming to a nice boil. Oh, it smells so good. One thing my mom does, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think because, let's see, she takes a handful of peppercorns and she adds them to the gravy to give it a nice extra flavor. So there's about 1, 2. So here I have about 16 or so little black peppercorns, and I'm just going to sprinkle these in there. And yeah, we're going to leave that. And then once these brown a little bit more, we'll continue with this. Fried potatoes, honestly, there's nothing better than a fried potato. Well, alright, I got cut off, but I was saying that there's honestly nothing better than a fried potato except for a nice hot bowl of chicken curry and rice. Like, for me, that's for me, at least. Like, that's what I think. And there's honestly nothing better in the world than chicken curry and rice, especially if you have it with a side of potatoes and a side of broccoli, which is what I'm doing. It's just, there's nothing better, and it can honestly solve all the world's problems. Like, I can't think of anything that chicken curry and rice can't solve. Did you get broken up? Chicken curry and rice. Are you scared about the political climate of the U.S.? Chicken curry and rice. Did your dog die? Chicken curry and rice. Just any problem you can think of, this can solve. There's absolutely nothing better. Well, if you're vegetarian, there's probably better options, but if you're not. So yeah, if you're vegetarian, chicken curry and rice might not be the best option, but if you do eat meat, then this is the option for you, my friends. I swear. So the potatoes are soft and they've gotten a nice kind of color on them. So the next thing I'm going to do is add broccoli rabe. So this is broccoli rabe. It's a leafy green, and you'll see in a second why I turned down the heat. The oil's gonna be sputtering a lot, so I'm standing all the way over here. Try to not burn myself. Of course, I should probably put it in a little more delicately, but whatever. If I burn myself, I burn myself. There we go, a little more delicately. And yeah, these will cook. They're already bright green right now, and then we'll cook them down a little bit. So the broccoli rabe is cooked down quite nicely. I'm gonna add now a little bit of turmeric, black pepper, and salt. So here's the turmeric and the black pepper. I'm just gonna mix all this together. I put salt a little while ago. And so the potato's kind of mashed a little, but it's really good. So yeah, this is done, and now we're going, and so this is the final product, and the chicken curry is coming along nicely, boiling away. So I'm going to move this here, and on this one, this burner, I'm going to get another wok, and we're going to do the broccoli. So right here, I've got some rice in water, and I've washed it a couple of times. Normally I'd wash it 4 times, but I'm kind of running out of time for dinner. So I'm going to let this come to a boil. And right over here, we've got a little bit of oil heating up in this wok. And this is where I'm going to put the broccoli in. So if you can't tell by the sizzling, I added the broccoli to the oil, and I'm going to let this sit for a minute. And I'm going to cover this. I know it's not the right lid, but I'm just going to cover this and let this do its thing for a minute. And the rice is getting close to a boil, and the chicken curry is looking very nice. I like it, again, very soupy. And it's looking really good. So yeah, dinner's coming along nicely. So the rice is boiling. I'm going to cover this. It's on medium now. I'm going to put it to low. And let it do its thing for a while. The broccoli is doing its thing. Everything's doing its thing right now. So, yeah, I can't complain. It really smells amazing in here, you guys. I wish there was an option that, like, you could smell the room someone was in. I can't get over how good everything smells. So here's the final product. We've got broccoli stir fry, rice, broccoli rabe with potatoes, and chicken curry. So yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to do now, but I'll post something soon when I make something next. Bye.